Welcome to Other Perspectives. I'm Nancy Kaplan. Tonight I am pleased to have as my guests members of the Washtenaw Biking and Walking Coalition. Board member Larry Deck has been a leader in creating trails and greenways in Michigan. He is on the Greenways Advisory Committee of the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission. He also serves on advisory committees for the Washtenaw Area Transportation Study, WATS, and on Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments, SEMCOG. Committee member Erica Briggs has been involved with promotion of non-motorized transportation for years. From 2004 to 2007, Erica ran Ann Arbor's Get Downtown program, which promotes non-automobile ways to get downtown. Erica is also a member of the Ann Arbor City Planning Commission. Welcome, Erica and Larry.
Thanks.
So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Let's begin with some background of the organization. When did the Washtenaw Biking and Walking Coalition start, and how did it come to be? You want to?
Oh, sure. It was founded in 2001 and was incorporated as a nonprofit in Michigan then, and we just became a 501c3 this year. In fact, we just got the notice at the last meeting that we became one, so
yes.
That provides a lot more opportunities for us. So we have a working board, so everybody, and it's all volunteer run.
Okay, so tell us who makes the appointments to the organization?
It's the board. There's a nominating committee that puts forth a selection of new board candidates each year, and then members vote on those board candidates at the annual meeting in November.
Without any input from the county or any political person, is that it? This is all generated by citizen generated?
Yep. In fact, Bob Kaczynski, which he's founded a couple of nonprofits in the area, Border to Border. He founded a nonprofit on that, and it was kind of, I think, his brainchild back in 2001 that he saw a real need for something like this and started putting a group of people together who were interested in promoting non-motorized transportation.
And it was founded in response to the perceived need to have an active advocacy group out there working on projects, because it's always important to have citizens working with their officials and with the community to help make projects happen.
So are there people on the board who are from Ann Arbor and from other cities?
Yeah, we have both Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti, I think, represented currently.
Okay, but you would be open because it says Washtenaw County,
Yeah.
so you would take?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's one of our goals in terms of growing the organization is reaching out to members across the entire county. Because our volunteer base is currently mostly in Ann Arbor and Ypsi, that's where we tend to generate the most support, but we would love to see engaged membership in the entire county and ideally board members as well.
Okay, so who and what are you advocating for? Why, you said there was a need, so a need for what?
Well, we advocate for projects, both on-road facilities, improving, having bike lanes or shoulders for people to bike on, improved sidewalk connections in the city, improved continuity of the network around the county, both on-road and off-road. And one of our priorities has also been what's called the Border to Border Trail, which is a concept for a trail across the county along and near the Huron River between the Livingston County border on the north and the Wayne County border on the east. So the network of on-road and off-road facilities we see as a goal to make a seamless network of facilities that people can walk and bike on.
Okay.
And then tack on a little bit beyond that. Beyond the facilities, we're also interested in developing strong policies countywide in terms of the different municipalities that are engaged in this, and then building community support around for bicycling and walking. Kind of those three pieces.
And building that support involves educational pieces and events that we stage to help gather attention to the needs of bicyclists and walkers and build support.
Okay, so there are local groups that you must work with. Do you work with, in Ann Arbor, for example, with the DDA or City Council or with the AATA? Do you work with any of those groups?
Yeah, we are engaged with those groups. We sit in on the city's alternative transportation meeting each month, and that has representatives from a number of different of those groups. There's DDA representation there, and police and the university, and it's a lot of city staff that also come to those meetings. So
That's the old group that started in 2002, I think? Is that when I think?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right, and that's a subgroup under Eli Cooper, is that correct?
Yep, Eli Cooper leads that group. And then, Larry, you're involved in a number of
Right.
activities.
Yeah.
So,
groups
let me just, if
Sure.
I
Yeah,
can
sure.
just finish. So are there, what about the AATA? Are you involved with that at all?
We have a new board member, Carolyn Gray,
Yes.
that is very active with in terms of participating in AATA, and one of the benefits of having her as a new board member is that she often attends those meetings and I think can be listening and thinking on motorized transportation as well. And
Does she also represent the Center for Independent?
she does, yes. She's at the
Center
Ann Arbor
for
Center for
Independent
Independent
Living.
Living. Yep.
Yes.
And so that's kind of her primary role there, but she's also representing WBWC now as well.
So when you're going to these meetings, do you get to put forth suggestions? What is it that you're able to do?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it kind of depends on what's being discussed. I mean, our role is as an advocate for non-motorized transportation. So, fortunately, in Ann Arbor, there's a lot of supporters in local government here. I think a lot of people get it. But it's being a strong voice and making sure that when road projects are going in, that there's consideration for bikers and walkers. Generally, in non-motorized transportation, there's considered to be kind of 5 main areas where you focus on. There's engineering and education, enforcement, encouragement,
Evaluation.
and then the last one's evaluation to make sure everything's going well. So we're kind of looking in those 4 areas to see what improvements could be made, and it's a case-by-case basis as to what needs to be done. Recently, we've been advocating strongly for strengthening our pedestrian ordinances in town. The city was recently looking at its bicycle registration policy, and we weighed in on that. So we kind of look at what's currently being addressed and see how we can offer our input, and then look at what pieces are missing. We're really.
And you, or Larry, my understanding is you work with the Ann Arbor Green Alliance. Is that correct, or is that not correct?
Washtenaw Green Waste Advisory
Okay,
Committee,
okay.
which is advised the County Parks Commission.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. First, let me mention on the
Okay.
AATA. At
Okay.
one of our recent meetings, the executive director of AATA came to our
Yes.
meeting, and we had good discussion there. And we both see a need, both AATA and WBWC, to coordinate activities. And as you know, the buses now carry bikes on the front, and people have to be able to walk to buses, of course. So the network of biking and walking complements the transit system in the county. So we see a real good partnership there, as does the AATA staff. With regard to the Green Waste Advisory Committee of County Parks Department, around 2000, the County Parks Commission saw a need to focus energy on trails in the county. Their surveys of citizens around the county have shown that the highest priority for county residents is trails. And so they looked at what they could do in terms of a trail network in the county. They decided that the highest priority corridor in the county for a trail system is the border-to-border trail near the river, and then the long-term goal is to have other trails feeding into that. So the border-to-border trail becomes the backbone, and the other trails connect with that. So the Green Waste Advisory Committee is a group of officials and citizens who advise the staff there on what would be desirable and what could be done, what people would like to see, and to help do the planning to make things happen.